And looking back at my first day of my last job, it was almost 20 years ago that I started a career in banking at Barclays. Having studied physics prior to that, on day one, I didn't actually know the difference between an investment bank and a post office. So on arrival, I was presented with the definitive textbook for first-year bankers. It's called An Introduction to Global Financial Markets by Stephen Valdez. And I was sent on to what I seem to remember was a pretty intense training course. In preparing for my remarks today, I looked back at my notes taken from that textbook on that very first day working in finance, and I had written this: the purpose of the markets is to facilitate the raising of capital and match those who want capital, the borrowers, with those who have it, the lenders. Now, whilst that is a perfectly accurate description of how the financial markets work, I no longer believe that to be their purpose. So today, I'm updating my notes. The purpose of the financial markets is to facilitate the movement of capital towards meeting the needs of society. As the impact of a rapidly changing climate system is moving from scientific consensus to an increasingly observable reality, arguably the most urgent need of society is to mobilize capital with pace and at scale to finance the domestic and global transition to a zero carbon and climate resilient future. This transition is going to be a monumental undertaking. It will be the single greatest social and economic transformation in human history. It will impact every sector of the economy, and it will require the reallocation of trillions of pounds of capital. Sadly, there is no graduate textbook on how we're going to do this. The world has never gone through a zero carbon transition before, which is why we're all going to need to collaborate to figure this out. We need to harness the innovation, the creativity and skills of so many in financial services to work with the policymakers and the regulators and with business to co-create the conditions needed for financial services to channel capital towards decarbonisation and resilience. And it is in order to lead those collaborative efforts that we are launching the Green Finance Institute today. We are an independent company, initially supported by seed funding from Her Majesty's Treasury, BEIS, and our hosts here today, the City of London Corporation. Initially funded by government, led by financiers, the GFI will be the principal forum for public and private collaboration in green finance. Our overarching mission is to accelerate the domestic and global transition to a zero carbon and climate resilience economy through mobilizing capital. And to do this, we're going to focus on 4 specific areas, as I'm hoping, yes, perfect, are colourfully depicted by these concentric circles. First, the crux of our strategy is going to convene and lead mission-led coalitions to structure and scale green finance solutions. We are going to bring together extraordinary and diverse groups of global experts across public and private sectors, academia, civil society, to unblock barriers to the deployment of green capital, looking at both the supply and the demand for green capital. We're going to focus on really well-defined real economy outcomes. We're going to be building on existing efforts. We're going to be aligning complementary initiatives, all to create new green commercial opportunities for financial services. We will use the GFI's unique positioning at that interface between government and private sector to build the solutions that we identify. We can champion policy or regulatory developments. We will be commissioning or collating data, developing new products or asset classes where needs be, and promoting greater education, expertise, and awareness. Today, I'm really pleased to announce the first 3 of these mission-led coalitions under the heading of Financing Green. The first is to scale up financial solutions to improve the energy efficiency of UK buildings, the oldest and least energy efficient building stock in Europe. We'll be working closely in conjunction with our colleagues at BEIS. We'll also be building capacity and financial products to finance resilient infrastructure, not only in the UK, but importantly overseas. And that's part of a very ambitious programme of work led by both DFID and BEIS. And then finally, financing sustainable commodity production across supply chains. And we will be doing that as members of the new Global Resource Initiative Task Force, which is championed by DEFRA. So we will be inviting leading financial institutions to co-create the revenue-generating and profitable solutions with business, with policymakers. And the GFI is a commercial entity, so there will, for some of these cases, there will be a fee structure for those of you who are invited, and we hope will be delighted to participate in these coalitions. 3 other initiatives that we look forward to promoting and supporting to further the greening of finance that we can also announce today. The first is a focus on the climate resilience of UK pensions, where we'll be working in partnership with UK SIF under the leadership of Simon Howard, as well as other aligned organisations. We're going to be actively supporting the regulatory work of the Climate Financial Risk Forum, chaired by Sarah Breeden at the Bank of England, and promoting the great work of the Chartered Bankers Institute, both in the UK and abroad, to further green banking education under the leadership of Simon Thompson. That was all under the first bit of the strategy. The second area of focus will be to drive the global green finance agenda through international dialogue, partnership and trade, obviously partnering closely with government. It is important that we keep building on the UK's leading finance track record, creating a recognised global brand for our leadership and our innovation in green financial products, as well as green finance policy and regulation. Third, we will share and showcase development across all aspects of UK green finance by building an accessible digital platform, the GFI Knowledge Hub. That's going to curate and collate latest developments in green finance. And the Treasury has asked and called on us to host roundtables, to attend to and organise summits, to raise awareness with key decision makers across the city of green finance best practice across both public and private sectors. And finally, we will be playing an active role in supporting the greening of the financial system, collaborating with the financial regulators and policymakers to optimise commercial opportunities for financial services arising from regulatory and policy developments. So today we're opening our doors. The GFI is a collaborative organisation, and our success is absolutely dependent on attracting partners, sponsors and talent. We want to hear from you if your organisation would like to participate in any of our announced coalitions, or if you are a talented, purpose-led individual with expertise in capital markets, corporate finance, trade finance, and if you're interested in one of the secondment positions we will be offering to support our work, we'd like to hear from you. We want to hear from you as well which other real economy outcomes-focused coalitions you think we should be convening during the course of the year. And finally, please do get in touch if you're interested in sponsoring our upcoming roundtables or events. You can contact us through our website, gfi.green, or via email, info@gfi.green, all of which has gone live today. And so to close, a quote from Governor Carney, that's almost the law, isn't it? But anyway, a quote from Governor Carney for a speech earlier this year in describing the challenge we all collectively face. The task is large, the window of opportunity is short, and the stakes are existential. I share President Robson and Sir Roger's optimism that together we, the financial services, can rise to this challenge. The course to a prosperous and sustainable future, leaving no one behind, will require new ways of thinking and, importantly, new ways of doing. But above all, it will require finance to live up to its true purpose, to ensure that capital is going where it is needed most. Thank you very much.